Welcome to the First 40 Sports Show with the Goon Squad. Let's start out with hot takes. You said last week about the Raiders coach, but yesterday he got fired. Josh McDaniels is gone alongside of the general manager. Man, I wasn't surprised about this because there've been rumblings all season, and after that game on last week when they lost, I'm like, okay, this is probably the end for him. Your thoughts on this?
I don't think it was the game, man. I think it was some rumblings last week. They had meetings last week where they allowed people to basically voice their concerns. I got to believe in that meeting. If the owner or some of the higher ups who were around heard some things that they were like, "Wow, he's lost this team, bro." And then you have the receiver on the sidelines Monday night. He's lost the team, and he's probably never had the team. I'm just wondering who's going to hire him next. What more you need to see? Stop hiring these Bill Belichick's disciples. They can't coach. And then you bring a general manager that wasn't a general manager for the Patriots organization. Kraft, you should be taking notes, taking serious notes. It's time to clean house. Tom Brady is no longer there. And when you think about this too, Tom Brady being part owner of the Raiders, and they fired this man mid-season, it had to be bad, boss. Had to be bad.
Yeah, Antonio Pierce takes over. He's a former player in the league, and he's talking tough, but we're going to be doing our picks a little bit later. I'm still not picking the Raiders against the New York Giants. I'm still not picking them. You got a problem at quarterback. Your defense doesn't want to play. And, you can't find receivers that are primetime receivers in Renfro and number 17. And, I don't feel sorry for the receiver who moved away from Green Bay and went to the Raiders, because you had to see that coming. You had to know that, this was not a good team, especially a team that you're going to get the ball, even though you're the number one receiver, that you're going to get the ball every play or every other play.
Sometimes in life you got to grow up. He sounds like a little child. I like him as a receiver. I like him as a person, but he sounds like a little kid. I mean, you went there to go play with your best friend. Seriously? Friends and business don't go together, boss. You got to keep that in mind. You should have went to a place, an organization that was going to help you, propel you to win. If you won a Super Bowl, maybe get you there. You went to go play with Derek Carr. Let's be honest. Derek Carr is not Johnny Unitas. Never been, never will be. You should have saw that. But no, he was too busy trying to be his boy, hang out with him, and they got rid of him. Now you're mad. You're stuck there. They're paying you a handsome salary. In my opinion, shut the F up. Cash your checks.
Yeah, speaking of friends playing together, you have the Ohio State Buckeyes, Nick Bosa, and he has his buddy, Chase Young, coming to play with him over with the 49ers. Who do you think was the biggest losers and winners of the trading deadline yesterday?
Washington, man, without a doubt, bro. I'm sorry, man. That cat, he was hurt for a while that they traded Chase. Might be a little immature, but you just don't go find that type of defensive man to draft easy. And if you look at the way they've been doing business, look at their head coach, I wouldn't trade him. The head coach is out of there next year. Why would you trade him? Bring someone else in that might be able to reach him. A defensive coordinator might be able to reach him. I know they got another guy in Sweat that's real good, but I'm sorry, man. Obviously, I don't think they was trying to pay him long term. For that reason, I understand they do it. San Fran, I don't understand how every year, just about every year, they load up when it's come time trading time. You figure a couple of years ago they got McCaffrey. I mean, think about this, man. They get some good cats when trading season or trading deadline comes close. So, I mean, absolutely, they picked up on it. So I'm gonna give it to San Fran. Washington, I think they're a mess, bro. And I'll be honest with you. I think even if they're probably gonna fire the head coach, if I was the cat that's offensive coordinator that came from KC, I would get out of there. I'm sorry, I would get out of it. Don't take that. That's a job that's gonna tank down. If you're going to take it, if you take that job, you can't turn it around. More than likely, this will be your last job. So if I was him, I would kind of get up, put my resumes out there right now. They do it all the time. You got the Knicks out there talking about they want to get a player that's already in the contract. So do a little tampering, do what you got to do, put your name out there, man, let it happen. Because I remember years ago, I don't even remember this, man. Bill Parcells was lobbying for Tony Dungy's job before Tony Dungy got fired. Lobbying. Him and his agent were talking to the owners, but they hired John Gruden. The NFL found out about it. John Gruden got hired. It happens all the time. Man. You got to work the business.
Montez Sweat goes to the Bears, another defensive lineman from the Washington Commanders. And so, the Bears get their defensive linemen that can go after quarterbacks. Ice, we were just talking about Washington trade with the 49ers, and now the Ohio State boys are back in business again with the 49ers. What do you think? Who are the winners and losers of these trades?
Well, Washington is probably just fed up with not going anywhere, not moving fast at all. So they are ready to kind of, dump all as many players as they can. And teams like I think you got to say San Francisco definitely won because you get Chase Young up and running again with Bosa, and you basically solidify that defense even more for San Francisco. I think it's going to help them a lot, and also a better defense allows more time for the offense to do what they need to do. And as you get closer to the playoffs, you see people making moves. You saw what Philadelphia was doing, regards to trying to picking up more wide receivers. These teams, the better teams are stacking up, right, players. So they get ready to make that run. It's happening slowly but surely, but nobody's really paying attention. But the true contenders are getting ready for these runs because they know down the line these are the type of moves they need to make to advance in the playoffs.
All right, let's stay with the theme of Ohio State. They're number one in the playoffs, and I can't really go against it because they had the toughest schedule out of all the four teams. But it's the time of year where you have the heated debate: how can you put Georgia at number two and Ohio State at number one? And Georgia hasn't lost a game in a couple of seasons. Black, what are your thoughts about the playoffs?
You can debate all you want. Like you said, what's name played two top 10 teams. Ohio State. Has Georgia done that? There's been some games that Georgia hasn't looked like Georgia. So, college football goes a lot on appearance. So I have no problem with them. I have no problem with them being at number one. I think, again, they took down two of the top 10 teams they played. If you want to be ranked number one and stay number one, you got to pick better opponents to play, man. Stop picking these cupcake schools and demolishing them and play somebody.
I kind of see this as a setup because if I'm not mistaken, Michigan and Ohio State have a showdown later on this season. It always seems like if one of them is in that number one and two spot, it's almost setting them up for failure because now you add more pressure, more intensity to that game.
Yeah, you can say that, but like Black said, it's the system that's set up. This is not about popularity. It's not about popular votes, right? This is a machine working and calculating things, part of it anyway, to saying, hey, we looked at their schedule compared to this team's schedule, and there might be a few votes that people are making, but for the most part, like you said, and I'm saying this very, very unbiasedly from the standpoint of put Georgia's schedule out there, who have they played, right? Ohio State beat Notre Dame at Notre Dame. Notre Dame destroyed USC. They played some other teams. They're decent, more than decent. Penn State had the number one defense coming in and has played a lot of games. And who else have they lost to? And down the line, so you can look at it for what it is. It was, even though the victories are very ugly for Ohio State, the numbers don't lie. You name me somebody else that went through that. Even if you look at Oregon, you look at Washington. Washington barely beat a 1-5, 1-16. I mean, it's everybody trying to say, well, you like said it could be a setup, or everybody hating like it's Ohio State. Why they number one? It's the damn computers, the numbers. They kill me with that. You set the system up, then you want to talk about it, and you want to say, oh, there's no way they should be number one. Okay, why? You should have kept it the way it was. AP, poll, and then you can put in who you want to in there. That's not how it's set up now. That's all I'm saying. Don't be mad at the machine. Be mad at the people who decide to use it.
Yeah. Some games that you want to see, Ice, because I know last week I said this is the game I want to see, Alabama LSU. I've been waiting 2 weeks for that particular game, but games that you want to see coming up this week.
Yeah, just because I want to see, even though they kind of fell backwards a little bit. Utah's playing Arizona State. Can Utah keep it rolling? They've been doing well despite the fact that they don't have the starting quarterback either. Maryland and Penn State. Definitely looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a pretty good game. I'll leave it there. I'll let you guys talk about the rest of it, but definitely Maryland and Penn State because both of them have a lot on the line, and one loss can push them in a place they don't want to be.
All right, Black.
I'm gonna take Maryland. I'm gonna take Maryland that game, but LSU Alabama, because I think you said this last week. They're kind of, I'm not saying they, but Alabama's kind of playing around. If Alabama keeps on chugging, some of these other teams ahead of them starts losing, don't be surprised. Alabama finds its way to get very close. And I want to make one other comment you're saying about Ohio State, man. I like this because it's drama, bro. Like you're talking about, one of them got to go. That's all it should be. It should be Ohio State, Michigan, whoever 2, 3, and 4. You got to play to get in. Don't be like, getting scared. No, play to get in. If you're good, take down the team. If not, keep your mouth shut.
Right. I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, that was the game I said last week that I'm looking forward to it. And that's the game I'm going to be zeroing in on this particular weekend. Also, Washington. Can the Huskies hang in there and move up in the ranks? World Series, Ice. Your thoughts, man? I thought it was going to be a much tighter World Series after Game 1. Game 1 was epic. Last few games, not so much.
Yeah, well, I tried to tell you. I said if when Texas beat Houston, I was like, they're gonna win it. And it's no disrespect to Arizona. Arizona played their butt off. They deserve to be there. But Texas is on a mission. They spent a lot of money over the years. One thing you got to remember, when they spend money, they usually win. I think this is the third largest payroll that Texas has ever spent on players and acquisitions over the offseason, right? And every time that Texas spends money, their top 3 payrolls, they've been in the World Series. And right now, they're about to win one. So with that being said, you just got to think about it. So they're playing well. They're on a mission, man. Arizona gave it all they got. When you see where Texas jumped out of nowhere, scored 10 runs last night, and Arizona came back and scored 7, they want it bad, man. They can taste it. They're hungry. Got a great old school veteran manager who's been there, knows what it's like. And I think they're on the cusp of shutting it down and bringing their first world championship to Arlington. So kudos to them. I might be wrong, but I think they're going to get it done. And some teams get hot and they're ready. When they beat Houston, the defending champions, I said they're ready and they have not disappointed. And that's where they are right now.
Yeah, I think they have another game tonight or tomorrow. I'm looking for Arizona to kind of pull that one out, but I think it's going to be a slow death for Arizona because Texas, they're swinging those bats and they're scoring a lot of runs. Black, the big trade, Hardin goes to the Clippers, and I don't know what to say, man. This is the third time around with Russell Westbrook, and I don't know what the Clippers are going to do. They got 2 players that sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. Hardin, he's going to fade away in the playoffs. Russell Westbrook can't hit a jump shot to save his life. So I'm not sure where this team is going to go. But your eye test on the NBA and that trade.
Someone said to the receiver for the Baltimore Ravens, it's time to retire. It's time for some of these older players to walk away. These young guns get ready to take over the league. Harding or wherever he wants to go, man, it's not matter. Every year, it seems to me the teams allow him to be like Madden. He just, I don't want to be here. I'll go here. I don't want to be here. And they accommodate him. It's amazing to me. But I'm looking at some of the young guns that cat in San Antonio, some other young players that are coming into the league, starting to step up and do their things. That's what I'm happy, excited to see, man. Some of these old players I said to you last week about Kevin Durant, gun. I don't want to see that anymore. I'm tired of seeing that. We've seen this. Same thing with LeBron. They need offense. No kidding. No kidding. You need offense? They changed that team top to bottom. So, man, to me, I kind of lost a little interest when opening night was here. I paid a little attention. I got involved. After I lost a little interest, man, I just did because NBA to me is pushing too much of the stars and not a good brand of basketball. So that's my eye test, man. I want to see good basketball play. I want to focus on some of these young cats coming out and see what they're doing.
Yeah, the game I watched last night with the Suns and the Spurs, couldn't believe that the Spurs pulled it out because I left and thought, okay, the Suns got this one. They were out without 2 of their stars. But anywho, when I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, here we go again, where Kevin Durant is on a team and he just can't deliver. And the way they just snatched the ball away from him at the end of the game, just scoring a winning shot was like, dude, you can't be looking around for a foul. There ain't no senior citizen discounts or special benefits.
It was Tuesday, though. On Tuesday. It was Tuesday.
All right, Ice. This Harden trade, as Tony Kornheiser would say, your boy, James Hardin, is with the Clippers. Now he's with the Clippers. What do you think about that trade? And then your eye test on the NBA.
Man, it hurts my heart because I watched the Clippers destroy San Antonio the other night, right? I mean, and they got the big fella riled up, and they looking like moving the ball. Russell was passing, and they were shutting the big fella down. And now it's like, here comes James. It's like, damn, they have great intentions, but it's too much. It's just too much. James can be fickle. He don't like something. He's going home. Something's bound to happen. We know that. They made a good trade, but it's bound to happen. Westbrook and him, something's gonna happen. It is. They just do not know how to cohesively work together. They should be able to by now, by the ninth time around, but something bad is gonna happen. It just is. And as much as I'm excited to kind of see it, I know, man, this started off great. We have a great trip, and then it's gonna be a damn train wreck at the end. You're gonna go, here you go again. Then you're gonna say, I want to go back to Houston. I just don't believe it. So we'll have to see how that goes right there too. But kudos to Philadelphia, because I think they're doing one thing that's very important. You finally got off the Hardin train, and you went out and you got a guy like Covington, right? You got some other people that are going to really help them down the line. And now it's Embiid's team. It's the big fella's team, right? Along with the young fella. And they're going to now, all you got to do is play. So you got a few extra pieces. All you got to do is play. Quit making excuses. No longer is it James Hardin. No longer is our boy that they shipped over to Brooklyn. Now, this is what you want. You got a young dude want to play. Other cats come on there want to play. You got you got the center. They got two as well. You got Batum. Batum came over there. You got a lot of pieces. So now, Embiid, it is your show. Stay healthy. Play ball. Quit rumbling. Quit talking about people like you at church and you mad because somebody's sitting in your seat. Get your ass out on the court and play, bro. It's your team now. You're looking for it. You got a young coach, Nick Nurse, has been there, has been experiencing some stuff too. No longer are these excuses. You say you won the best today, prove it.
I don't think Embiid got it in him. And please, he's going to be part of my last second shot because there were some rumors of a possible trade with Embiid to the Knicks. Knicks, please don't. I don't think he got it in him. I really don't. Last second shot play.
We all been riding the Colorado football train throughout the season. And at the last game, the coach came out, Deion Sanders came out basically and kind of lit a fire with some words about the offensive line, which I think was unjust, saying they can't, protect his son. That's part of the problem right there. You're kind of favoring your son and not favoring the team. Yeah, your son's getting tackled, but when your son goes out in the field, he's just an ordinary quarterback. So now you done pissed off some young men that you done come there saying you're going to be father to and all this and that. What do you think's happening to your son now? Keep in mind, these guys are amateurs. They're not pros. Amateurs.
Ice?
We are moving into some of the best times of the season as far as sports is concerned. College basketball is going to be coming up real soon. NBA is going to be coming up. College football is turning the corner. Baseball is over. I'll say this. If you're watching sports, you're a big sports fanatic, make sure that you are enjoying this time as we know it, because careers are ending, people get injured. Even we clown Kirk Cousins all the time. The fact that he was injured for the rest of the season, this is sometimes you may not see some of this stuff ever again. I know it's easy to say because you're caught up in one way or another, but just remember, these are some very great moments happening in sports. And just don't forget about what you're watching, because sooner or later, who knows what can happen with some of these players or whatever, and it could be over just like that. So pay close attention and enjoy the sports for what they are.
Yeah. Been a Knicks fan for a long time, lived in the area, and me and Black don't want to claim him anymore, but I still got a little bit in my heart for him. Please do not pick up Embiid. I don't like to question the man's heart, but it seems like when the going gets tough, he fades away somehow. So don't trade away a good nucleus you got on your team, and you're building on it. Don't trade away some of these guys for Embiid, because it ain't going to happen. You already got the Villanova front court there, which I'm a little leery about. Don't trade for Embiid. Please do not trade for Embiid. That's our show. Catch you next week.